All right, now we're going to move on to members of the rhythm section. Pianists, bass players, vibraphonists, guitarists. We're going to get to the drums in a minute. The first thing we want to hear you play is Billy's Bounce, all right? Nice blues, nice medium tempo. We want to hear you do one chorus of comping. We want to hear the melody, and we also want to hear you play, okay? We want to hear you solo over that, okay? When you're comping, we want to get a good idea of how you rhythmically phrase. We want to get a good idea of how you accompany the melody as well. So really pay attention to the comping. The reality is that if you're in a rhythm section, the vast majority of what you'll be doing is comping. So it's very important to show us your style and where you're coming out of with that, okay? All right, our bassists. We want you to also take Billy's Bounce, and we want you to walk for 4 choruses on that. Really keeping the time steady, really make sure that your sense of beat is consistent. We're going to be looking for that because whoever we choose for drums, we want to make sure that the balance between the ride cymbal and the bass is accurate, it's concise, and it feels sort of similar all the time. That groove is going to be very important. We're together for 4 weeks almost, so we want to make sure that we're dancing the entire time, all right? Okay, so our bassists walk for 4 choruses, and then after that, you'll have the opportunity to solo for 2 choruses if you like. Again, not required, but it's definitely a bonus, so we want to hear the best you got. For our rhythm section players, we're also requiring that you show us your skills on a ballad, okay? Again, we want to hear your sensitivity, we want to hear your soul, we want to hear your phrasing. We want to see if you can sort of go off of the melody a little bit, but stay true to it. It's very important to us that you're able to turn a phrase a certain way. And that's not just with the melody, that's how you comp into the certain phrases, how you lead your bass line into it, all of that, okay? So really pay close attention to how you execute that ballad. Now the next couple things we're going to ask you to do are a little sort of different for us. We want to deal with some odd meters, all right? So we want you to perform a tune like Nomo or Take 5. We want to hear that you're able to keep the beat consistent. We want to hear that you're able to stay in time. We want to make sure that you're able to phrase inside of those meters, whether it's 5, 7, or whatever it is, okay? So put your best foot forward with that. Again, short excerpt, couple choruses of a groove, you know, nothing too long. We'll be able to tell pretty quickly whether or not you have what it takes. All right, the next section of this is optional. You have the option of either soloing on Cherokee, Giant Steps, something like that. A couple choruses again. We will look for folks that not just improvise, but are telling a story. So you might have a lot of chops, you might have all of the scales and arpeggios, but we're looking to see if you can take all of those musical ideas and those scales and arpeggios and make a concise thought, build a solo, tell us a story, okay? Again, this is optional, but put your best foot forward. Again, a couple choruses, we don't need you to write a novel, you know? So just a couple stories, a couple choruses, and we'll be good to go for that. Now, we've been receiving a lot of questions about this from our guitarists. A lot of folks asking, you want us to comp? How do we comp? Do you want us to comp in Freddie Green style? Do you want it more loose? I think it's important to do both. So give us a couple choruses of that good Freddie Green style, laying down the quarter notes a certain way, giving emphasis to beats 2 and 4, but not making 2 and 4 so loud that you don't hear the anchor of 1 and 3, okay? When in doubt, check out Freddie Green. Go listen to some Count Basie recordings and you'll get a good idea of what that is, okay? Now we want to make sure that you're able to balance your comping with the other folks in the rhythm section as well. Perhaps the vibraphonist wants to comp behind the tenor saxophonist, or perhaps the pianist wants to comp behind the bass solo. So you want to make sure that you're not overlapping all of those different textures. And that goes for pianists and vibraphonists as well, okay? So check out the varying styles that folks play in rhythm sections to get a good understanding of what that is. But specifically, again, for our guitarists, that Freddie Green style, locking in the quarter notes, as well as more contemporary ways of comping, all right? And again, couple choruses, nothing too long. The next piece is also optional for bass and drums. If you can, if you have it, an excerpt of you playing with a big band or your school ensemble or something like that would be a plus. Obviously, don't try to assemble your entire big band, school big band on like Easter break or something, or, or on the weekend to try to get them to play with you. But if you have that in your archives, by all means, shoot it over to us, okay? And we'll check it out.